I once sat across from a 74-year-old man who whispered, "Doctor, I think my manhood is dying." His eyes weren't sad, they were ashamed, and that moment changed me. Because what if I told you in my 30 years helping men navigate aging, I've discovered something almost no one talks about? That a few specific wines, not pills, not surgery, could help revive what most believe is lost forever. My name is Dr. James. I'm a men's health specialist with over 3 decades treating circulation and intimacy decline in older men. And through both science and experience, I found that certain wines, yes, wine, hold remarkable power to heal and restore vitality in ways most doctors ignore. It sounds backward, doesn't it? We're told alcohol is dangerous after 60, but in the healthiest, longest-living cultures, wine isn't avoided, it's embraced strategically. That's the paradox. Today, I'll show you how 5 powerful wines can support circulation, energy, and yes, vermas, intimacy, in a way that feels natural, enjoyable, and dignified. And in just a moment, I'll reveal one wine you should never drink because it could silently sabotage your blood flow. Before we dive in, if restoring your health and vitality matters to you, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm here to learn what truly helps you. All right, now that you understand why circulation is the key to reclaiming your strength and intimacy after 60, let's get specific. The very first wine on our list isn't just popular, it's a quiet powerhouse when it comes to supporting healthy blood flow. Let me introduce you to the one red wine I recommend more than any other, Pinot Noir. 1. Pinot Noir, the heart's favorite. I'll be honest with you, if I had to choose just one wine to recommend to my patients over 60, it would be Pinot Noir. Not because it's trendy, not because it tastes smooth, but because I've seen time and again how it can quietly and powerfully support the very thing most men don't even realize they're losing: healthy blood flow. I remember one patient, Robert, who was 67 when he first came to see me. He had no major health issues, but he told me he just felt dull, like something had gone dim inside him. Energy low, mind foggy, and intimacy with his wife of 40 years nearly gone. After some testing, it became clear his circulation had slowed. Nothing dangerous, but enough to change how he felt as a man. We made small shifts in his lifestyle, but the one that surprised him most? A glass of Pinot Noir with dinner, a few nights a week. He laughed at first, said, "You're prescribing wine, Doc?" But 3 months later, his eyes told a different story. He felt sharper, warmer, more alive, and yes, closer to his wife again in ways that words don't quite capture. Pinot Noir is rich in resveratrol, a natural compound that opens up blood vessels, improves oxygen delivery, and gently enhances circulation throughout the body, including where it matters most for physical closeness. And because it's lower in sugar and alcohol than many other reds, it's gentler on your system, especially with age. When chosen well and enjoyed in moderation, this wine becomes more than a drink. It becomes a ritual of renewal, a way to support your body, your confidence, and your connection. But Pinot Noir is just the beginning, because the next wine on our list may be even more powerful, and it's one you've likely seen on shelves your entire life without ever realizing what it could do for your heart and your manhood. If you're still here and these insights are resonating with you, drop the number 1 in the comments so I know you're still with me. Now, let's keep going and dive into the next powerful wine on our list. 2. Cabernet Sauvignon, the powerhouse red. Cabernet Sauvignon holds a special place in my practice and in my personal life. It's bold, structured, and full of character, much like the men I work with every day. But beyond the flavor, this wine carries something deeper, something healing, especially for men over 60 who feel like their strength, their edge, is quietly slipping away. I remember an old friend of mine, Daniel, who used to be the kind of guy who never stopped moving. Retired Navy, sharp mind, proud husband. But in his early 70s, things changed. He told me he started feeling weaker, more tired after meals, and more distant in the bedroom. "It's like my body's unplugging," he said. We ran his numbers, and sure enough, his circulation was lagging. That's when I encouraged him to try a simple, surprising shift. A few glasses of Cabernet Sauvignon each week, dry, high quality, nothing cheap. You see, Cabernet is packed with flavonoids and procyanidins, compounds that help reduce inflammation, soften arterial walls, and support smoother blood flow. Not just to your heart, but to every vital part of you. Within a couple of months, Daniel felt a quiet fire return. He was walking faster, laughing more, and his connection with his wife had deepened. He said it felt like something had opened up inside him, and he was right. His blood vessels were literally more open, more flexible, and more efficient at delivering what his body needed to feel truly alive. When used wisely, Cabernet becomes more than a glass of wine. It becomes a powerful ally in restoring circulation, boosting warmth and energy, and rekindling physical connection in a way that feels natural and lasting. But don't go anywhere, because the next wine might surprise you. It's softer, subtler, but for some men, it's the one that works when nothing else has. 3. Merlot. Gentle but powerful. Merlot doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't have the sharp bite of other reds or the bold reputation of Cabernet, but maybe that's what makes it so effective, especially for older men who are looking for something that works quietly, steadily, and without overwhelming the system. In many ways, Merlot reminds me of the men I see in my office, calm, steady, and carrying more wisdom than they let on. One patient, Richard, 71, once told me he felt like his body had become stiff like a machine running out of oil. His blood pressure was climbing and he often felt cold in his hands and feet, early signs of sluggish circulation. He was reluctant to take medications but open to natural options. That's when I suggested Merlot. It's a wine with depth but not heaviness. Rich in antioxidants and lower in tannins, Merlot supports circulation without overstimulating the heart. It works by reducing inflammation in blood vessels, improving vascular tone, and gently encouraging better blood flow, especially to the areas that keep a man feeling confident, strong, and connected. Richard made a habit of enjoying a small glass of Merlot with dinner 3 or 4 times a week. Nothing fancy, just part of his evening rhythm. Within 6 weeks, he told me he was sleeping better, feeling warmer, and even enjoying more spontaneity with his wife. "It's like my body's listening again," he said, and I believe him, because good circulation is how the body speaks to itself. It's how it heals, how it loves, how it lives. Merlot may be soft, but it is far from weak. For many men, it's the quiet key to unlocking closeness they thought was gone for good. But if you think Merlot is impressive, wait until you hear about the next wine. A rare Italian gem with more antioxidants than any wine on this list, and a history tied to some of the most passionate, long-living men in the world. If you're still watching and finding this information valuable, go ahead and comment the number 1 below. It lets me know you're here and engaged. Now let's move forward with wine number 4. 4. Sagrantino. The secret Italian weapon. I'll never forget the first time I tasted Sagrantino. I was visiting a small hillside village in Umbria, Italy, one of those places where time seems to slow down and the people live with a kind of quiet intensity. There I met an 84-year-old man named Marco who still rode his bicycle to the town square every morning, still danced with his wife on weekends, and still spoke about love like a young man. When I asked him what his secret was, he just smiled and raised his glass of deep, dark red wine. "Sagrantino," he said. "It keeps the blood moving, and the heart open." At the time, I was curious, but after years of research, I now understand exactly what he meant. Sagrantino is one of the richest wines in the world when it comes to polyphenols, those powerful plant compounds that reduce inflammation, fight oxidative stress, and most importantly, support smooth, strong blood flow. Its antioxidant content is off the charts, giving your circulatory system the support it needs to stay open, flexible, and responsive. especially in the places that matter most to a man's sense of vitality and closeness. What I love most about Sagrantino is that it doesn't work with brute force. It works deeply and gradually, nourishing the blood vessels, calming the nervous system, and helping men feel more grounded, physically and emotionally. It's strong, yes, but there's also elegance in how it works, much like the men who benefit from it. Now, it's not the easiest wine to find, and it's best enjoyed in small amounts, just a few ounces at a time like a tonic. But the effect? Remarkable. Still, there's one more wine I want to share with you. It's not as exotic, but in many ways it may be the most powerful of them all, especially for older men who want to protect their hearts and revive their deepest sense of masculinity. 5. Tannat, the Longevity Elixir. There's something about Tannat that feels almost ancient, like it carries the memory of men who lived long, full lives and never stopped feeling deeply alive. It's not a wine that gets a lot of attention, but in places like southwestern France and Uruguay, it's quietly credited with something remarkable: strong hearts, long marriages, and an old-school kind of masculine energy that refuses to fade. I first recommended Tannat to a patient named Gerald, 76, who was healthy by most standards, blood pressure under control, no major issues, but he told me he just didn't feel like himself anymore. "It's like my flame's burning low," he said, almost embarrassed. He wanted more than just numbers on a chart. He wanted to feel desire again, drive, closeness, the kind of spark he once took for granted. Tannat, as it turns out, was the perfect fit. This wine is rich in tannins and filled with powerful flavonoids that help improve HDL cholesterol, lower inflammation, and keep blood vessels clear and responsive. More importantly, it supports circulation where men need it most, gently restoring the pathways that allow physical intimacy to feel natural again. Within 2 months, Gerald said he felt lighter, clearer, even stronger. He started walking every morning with his wife again. Their evenings felt warmer, and his smile, I'll never forget it, had that quiet confidence men only wear when they feel truly alive in their bodies. Tannat isn't about excess. It's about balance, strength, and longevity. It's about feeling like yourself again, not just in the mirror, but in the moments that matter. But not all wines offer that kind of support. In fact, some do just the opposite. In the next section, I'll show you which wines may silently sabotage your blood flow, and why avoiding them could be the best decision you make for your heart, your health, and your connection. 6. Wines to avoid: the silent saboteurs. Not all wine is good wine, and just because something is red and poured into a nice glass doesn't mean it's helping you, especially when you're over 60 and every decision you make either builds your health or quietly chips away at it. I had a patient named Tom, 69, who came to me frustrated. He'd watched a few health videos online, started drinking wine regularly, and expected to feel better, but instead he was more tired, foggier, and struggling even more with intimacy. When we looked into it, the answer was right there on his kitchen shelf: sweet red blends, cheap boxed wines, and a nightly pour that had become a little too generous. The truth is, some wines can undo all your hard work. Sweet dessert wines, for example, are packed with sugar, and sugar inflames the very blood vessels we're trying to open. Many mass-produced wines are also loaded with sulfites, preservatives, and even artificial coloring, things that disrupt circulation, raise blood pressure, and leave you feeling heavy and flat. Even some white wines, though crisp and light, offer very little of the circulation-boosting compounds found in darker reds. And if you're drinking too close to bedtime, you may be interrupting your sleep, which is just as essential for blood flow and hormone balance as any supplement or diet. It's not about fear, it's about being intentional. Wine can be medicine or poison, depending on the kind you choose and how you use it. The key is clarity, knowing what supports your body and what drains it. And if you're wondering how to begin, how to bring these wines into your life in a safe, effective, and meaningful way, I'll show you exactly what to do next. In the next section, we'll build a simple plan you can start today. One that supports your circulation, your energy, and the closeness that makes life worth living. 7. Simple plan to get started today. Change doesn't have to be big to be powerful. In fact, some of the most meaningful health transformations I've seen in men over 60 started with something as small as a single glass of the right wine, paired with a little more intention in how they moved, breathed, and connected each day. If this message has spoken to you, if a part of you is tired of feeling tired or missing the closeness you used to take for granted, then let me give you a starting point. Simple, realistic, gentle. First, choose one of the 5 wines we've discussed, just one. Pinot Noir is a great place to begin, rich in resveratrol, smooth on the body, and forgiving on digestion. Have a 4 to 5 ounce glass with dinner 2 or 3 times a week. Sip slowly. Let it be a part of something, a quiet moment, a good meal, or shared time with someone you care about. Next, give your body a reason to circulate. Take a 15 to 20 minute walk every day. Nothing fancy, just enough to move the blood, stretch the lungs, and wake up the system. You'll be surprised how quickly your body responds. Then add in a few small supportive choices, a handful of nuts, a few pieces of dark chocolate, deep breathing before bed. These tiny changes create an environment where better circulation and stronger intimacy aren't just possible, they become the new normal. And finally, be patient with yourself. You're not chasing youth, you're reclaiming vitality, on your terms, at your pace. Now, if you're still wondering whether this approach can truly make a difference, I invite you to stick with me for one last message. Because in the closing thoughts, I want to share the most important lesson I've learned after decades of helping men just like you, and it might be the one thing you've been waiting to hear. Final words from Dr. James. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Not just for listening, but for caring enough about your health, your energy, and your relationships to stay with me. That alone tells me you're not done growing, you're not done living, and you're certainly not done loving. Over the years, I've seen a lot. I've seen strong men break down because they thought aging meant becoming invisible. I've seen quiet pain behind eyes that once burned with confidence, but I've also seen something else, something far more powerful. I've seen men rise again. I've seen couples reconnect after years of silence. I've seen strength return, slowly but surely, through small, intentional choices. And if there's one message I could leave you with, it's this. You are not broken. Your body isn't failing you. It's asking for support, and in many cases, asking for blood to flow freely again, to nourish the parts of you that bring joy, purpose, and connection. Wine, when chosen wisely, can be part of that support. Pinot Noir to open the heart. Cabernet to bring back strength. Merlot to calm and restore. Sagrantino to protect. Tannat to invigorate. These are more than drinks. They are rituals of health, of pleasure, of reclaiming the parts of yourself that age may have tried to dull but never truly took away. You don't have to do everything at once. Just begin. Pour the right glass. Take the right walk. Breathe a little deeper. And remember that real vitality isn't about turning back time. It's about making the most of the time you still have. I'm Dr. James, and it's been an honor to walk this path with you. Wherever you are, whatever you're facing, know this: it's not too late. You can feel alive again, and you deserve to. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and leave a comment below. I read everyone. Your story, your voice, your journey, it matters. Let's keep this conversation going.